I don't think I've ever asked you this in the entire time I've known you, but
Oh boy.
yeah, you went to OLH
Yeah.
from the whole time, right? Kindergarten to 8th grade or
Kindergarten to 8th
to
grade.
yeah.
Yep.
What was that like? What was being in a Catholic school in the Hamptons? Were you the only Latina in there?
Yeah. I mean,
You
and
had
also
to have
high
been.
school.
It was 80s.
Like,
It was 80s and 90s.
it was 80s and 90s. Yeah. So we had a family friend that had their daughter there, and she was like 3 years ahead of me. And then the main choice to go, which is really interesting because you think about like these choices that parents make, is that the public school ended at 2:00 or like 2:10.
Oh.
And OLH ended at 3.
Yeah.
And so my mom ran the numbers and she's like, that's 1 hour of extra work
I can do
a day. So like, and I think coming from a different country, she felt more comfortable with the Catholic education because it's what she knew versus public school. And so I started there and they kind of like really liked it. And they really jived with like the administration of the school and the messaging. But yeah, I mean, there was one Black girl in our class. There were other Black kids in the school. There were a handful of Hispanic kids, but like I don't remember any older than me, definitely as the younger years went on. And to be honest, it wasn't like anything that
nothing crazy the way that they
I
talk
never
about.
felt it. Like I never felt like, oh, that's the Hispanic kid or like that's a Latino kid. And I didn't ever feel that in high school too, with the exception of, you remember Mrs. Lee who would take attendance?
Oh yeah. She was scary.
So there was one other Hispanic girl in our class, Nydia.
Yeah.
If you remember Nydia, you'll remember that she looked nothing like me.
Not at all.
Except that we were both short with long hair.
Yeah. Yep.
And so when she saw me, she would scold me for not being in class or for being late. And I was like, I've been here this whole time. And it was like on the second time that I realized that she was confusing me with Nydia. And I was like,
you're like, not all Latinos look alike. Excuse
like,
me.
There's only 2 of us. Like, and I would pull out my school ID and be like, not Nydia.
That's how it was for me too, though. Every mixed kid was related somehow. Like it had to be like, oh, we had your brother last year. I'm like, no, you didn't. Because I don't have one.
I don't have yeah.
Not one
like,
here.
News to me.
So no, you didn't. And if you're talking about Everton, I'm older. So you definitely didn't have him last year. And now I'm in your class. Like that's
right.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the recipe ain't the same for all of us. You know what I mean? Like,
but it is funny. I use that joke all the time. I like that joke because I mess up too. And my friend Jeff, he's like, Garrett, not all Black people look the same. I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry. My fault. Like, all right.
God damn it.
But yeah, I was just kind of curious because I know parents who have sent their kids to OLH. Like I'm friends with them now. I've known a couple kids. Well, you and Liz Delalio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
We were both there. Yeah. I think it was a really different time when we were there. Like, I think now it's sort of, at least from what I've heard, I can't say this for sure, but I think it's a different concept of private education. But like everyone that I was in class with, they were all working parents. Like there wasn't anyone, maybe there was a handful that maybe was like upper class, but I never felt it. Like you didn't, and this was also parenting back in the day. You didn't feel it in the birthday parties. Everybody had a backyard birthday party.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody,
you were all outside
right?
running
and you
around.
had the Carvel birthday cake and like you call it a day. My daughter, we had her in private school, in Catholic school, when she started out. She got invited to a party at the Bronx Zoo.
Right. Yep.
The 3-tier birthday cake.
Oh God.
The goodie bag was from Pottery Barn, right? And I was just like, I can't.
What is happening?
Like we can't do this. This is not. So I think like the OLH that I experienced was probably from a demographic perspective.
Well, it was just starting out that back then too. Like the elementary school was way bigger. They added so many more, like another whole building to it. The intermediate school is bigger now too. The high school has like 3 gyms instead of 1. It's I mean everything. Yeah. So there wasn't you also kind of just grew up with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, you were together forever. You like went to people's houses. You did birthday parties together. You were on the soccer team together.
And the
like,
classes were so small that it wasn't, you could invite the whole class to your house and it was no big deal.
Except for that one kid that you were like, do we have to invite
I
him?
know.
And your parents were like, yes, you do.
They sent that out in schools this year too. We can't, if we're going to send birthday or birthday, you have to send them for the whole class. And I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
That's kind of mean if the one kid in the corner doesn't.
I know. I struggle with this too, because there are kids that like actively are not nice to other children or to your child specifically. And I'm like, I think this is a good life lesson. Like, you can't be unkind to people and expect that like you're going to get the invite. And I'll give you a chance. Like, I'll invite you. And then if I see stuff going down, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy. But to go back to your question, I didn't feel like I wore like, oh, she's Latina. I didn't feel like that till I went to college.
Really?
And then it was like very stark differences. Like, I had a professor pull me aside and be like, what was it like to grow up in the barrio? And I was like, the Hamptons?
What college is this?
I haven't heard it.
Where'd you go?
I'm not going to name names.
I know where you went, but
yeah. And I was like, I don't understand what you mean. But I had gotten lumped in with all of the, like, basically kids of color that came from the city. So I was from the Bronx.
That was a tough school to get into, man. That wasn't some,
Yeah. You didn't just land
school.
there.
Yeah, like, no, you had to try to get into that college. You had to try
to get in there. Yeah. And so it was like, I remember being like, okay. All right.
Was that a super liberal school?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I feel like
most of that general area of the country is pretty liberal.
Yeah,
so
exactly. But there were people who had like never been in class with another person of color, or like didn't live nearby proximity wise, or like their whole school was white, or they had like one black kid in their school. So they were like, oh, who are you? And I think also, like, growing up out here, you sort of learn to live in all those worlds.
Yeah, we're a big melting pot out here, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my first album was Guns N' Roses.
Like,
you know what I mean? I will happily talk about Axl Rose and Slash all day. But I can also dance bachata. Like, I can go, so they, for a while, they were like, oh, you need to pick a box. And I was like, oh. At first I was like, oh, I do need to pick a box. And I was like, I don't fucking need to pick a box.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, let's get into that. What boxes did you have to check for those school things? I always checked other.
I had like a.
What does it say now? Does it say like?
Well, it has to go through like what the census.
Yeah.
Says. Like, there are some regulations as to like what they have to ask, and then they can ask like additional questions. But
is there like a Latina or Latino box?
So now it's weird because it's seen as an ethnicity. So depending on how they want to do it, like, you can check. And I struggle with this all the time because
I was like, what do you check?
It's like causes me to sweat because there's the are you Hispanic, yes or no? And then there's the race question, which is Asian, Black, White, Native American. The Asian one is Asian Pacific Islander, Black, White, Native American, or other. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do I check? I'm from South America. So what do I check? I don't fucking know. So I just leave that one blank. Hispanic, yes, and I don't know, figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, take a look at me when you see me.
Right,
go ahead and racially profile me. That's fine.
Right, yeah. I tan easily. It's fine. Great. I like rice and beans. It's good. Yeah, but it's just like those questions just always leave me like, yes, Hispanic is an ethnicity, but
wouldn't you be though if you? Would you be like Native American or Aztec, or what were the Native Americans that were from South America?
I mean, there's 1.5 million of them, but none of them that, like, I don't know. To me, it doesn't feel genuine to click Native American because I feel like that category is reserved for people who
native to the U.S.
Right. who would benefit from, or not benefit from, because I don't necessarily think that there's direct tie to benefits, but like that they're meant to be identified for. Right. Programs offering, so it never felt genuine to click that. But there was some benefit,
but it would like you would be Native or Indian in South America though. That would be my thought.
I mean, my dad's from Spain though.
Did you ever do the DNA ancestry?
I did. Yeah.
Did it ever?
It's wild.
Does it give you a?
It's like you, except for Antarctica, you are just from everywhere.
That's awesome.
You were just be.
I mean, at this point, I think everybody's from everywhere, but it's just kind of curious. I was just curious because I was like, what did you check? Because I checked other. I didn't know what else for everything.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, I just clicked Hispanic when it was offered, and I was like, that's enough. That's also like that's all you need to know about me.
Yeah, right.
You can go away now.
I don't check anything anymore because I just don't think you need to know.
Yeah,
but that's fine. Also, I don't have anything to check anything for anymore. I'm over that hump. I don't have to do that anymore.
I'm applying to anything.
I'm not applying for shit, so it doesn't matter.
I know. My God, have you done the genetic testing?
No, I'm one of those anti-government in my bullshit, and I don't want you to have my DNA. But they already do.
Like private corporation.
They kind of already do have my DNA, so it's like there's and my fingerprints and my everything. So I mean, but you know me. No, you can't have it. So
I said no.
I said no. You can't have it.
Yeah, I did it because I was like, oh man, I'm curious. I'm really, really curious what happens. And then actually, so you'll find this interesting. You can get like the raw genetic data. And this is me not having literally any sense. I have a friend in cybersecurity that he's like, just don't tell me what you do, please. He's like, I want to sleep at night without knowing that all your shit is everywhere. And I'm like, I bet I did this. So you can get like your raw genetic profile and you can upload it to this website that will tell you like what genetic markers you have, which is insane because this is testing that would cost like tens of thousands of dollars
to get like what you're health wise.
Yeah, like here are some markers.
No, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Surprise me when I get to that age. I don't want to know. Just
keep me in suspense. It'll be fine. Yeah. No, it's like there's so much information about yourself, and of course, I have no idea what I'm reading. I'm like, oh, I'm genetically predetermined for what was the thing like? Oh, like turning red when you drink alcohol. I was like, oh, I didn't need to know that.
I mean,
that's great.
Don't we all?
No.
Oh, there are people who don't get red cheeks when they. No. I mean, I have literal red cheeks all the time. It doesn't matter what I do.
Yep.
But like, I thought everybody just got hot and flustered and whatnot when they.
No, they do not.
Oh,
they do. I know.
Good for them.
I know. God damn it.
How do you get away with that?
I know.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all there's stuff that you can learn about yourself now. It's just like sometimes it's just information overload.
No.
So.
No, surprise me. I'm not. Everyone's like, your mother. The only thing I do go to the doctor for regularly to get checked for is my thyroid because my mother had problems with hers. But other than that, nope. I already know my grandmother's got an enlarged heart and something. I was like, listen, I'm just gonna exercise and take some fish oils and hope that bad boy doesn't combust at any point in time. And that's what I got. Like, I don't need to know.
Like, keep me away from here.
My uncle had a scare with some stuff a little bit. Why he had to have a heart ablation. He's got a bunch of I have felt it before too, but that flutter, like there's I forget what it's called now, but
fibrillation.
Yeah, AFib.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as that happened and he had to go in for that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to work out, exercise, and
wait. So you haven't gotten a workup?
No.
I'm gonna end this podcast right now. Cardiologist.
Oh yeah, I am not going to. I have been to the cardiologist before, but it was way back.
Did you have an iPhone?
No.
Time to go.
I did not have an iPhone.
Time to go.
No, it was in high school, I think, because we found out my grandmother had an enlarged heart, so they.
Right, you know that it's like.
I'm good. It's fine. We're good. Everything's fine. I run good.
I'm gonna have to talk to Colleen about this.
I run good. I do.
Colleen, come get your girl. I can't.
But yeah, no. I do have to. There's something coming up I got to do. I know I got to go to like the gyno. I hate that. It's like my worst nightmare.
It's not a pleasant process for anybody.
How was it? It was unfair that when we were in high school, the local gyno was a friend of ours father.
Right, correct.
How do you come back from that?
I don't think you're going to be the topic at the dinner table. I'm just going to say it. But yeah, you're like, hey, I've seen you at school.
Like when he's in the stands rooting for us at sports games.
Yeah, it's a different energy.
You just kind of run by, but that was super.
You go to the town over. That's what you do.
I mean, we luckily by the time I came of age, there was another one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I went to the other one when I got.
I would like to go to not this one. Correct.
No,
Yeah.
I know the name on the door, but not that one. The little name on the door, the tiny one underneath it.
The one to the left. Want that one?
Oh no, I don't miss that.
Oh, benefits of living in a small town, right? Yeah.
And it was way smaller back then than it is now. What do we?
Oh my God.
We graduate with like 128 people in our class or something like that.
Yep. It was itty bitty. What's Southampton High School up to now?
Oh,
the class sizes.
I don't know, but I know that their sports teams are now considered Class B. So they're playing like Huntington, all the big schools now. So like schools that have campuses.
Oh, and I also, this is me not being in touch. What happened to the football team?
Oh, they sucked and were terrible for so many years that they just disbanded it. And now it's back. And so now there's a bunch of JV players attempting to play varsity level football.
Good on them for taking that chance.
Yeah. I also explained to most of them, hey, little bodies don't like it when big bodies fall on them. So get some food, eat some carbs, catch a growth spurt.
Do the big body thing.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
that's tough. Yeah.
So they're going to, excuse me, they're going to get spanked for a while, but at least they have a team again.
Yeah. I mean, it takes kind of a certain kind of level of grit to go out there, be the first round up.
And their coaches are great. Their coaches have been here forever. It's like Eddie West and I forget the other guy's name, but they've been in the Southampton public school system forever. Wow. So all these kids are very familiar with them. They're going to have a great time.
Nice. Oh man, I wish them luck. It's hard.
Dude, they're going
to. I don't know that I'd let my kid play football if he wanted to, honestly.
Did you ever do the thing about how big he's supposed to grow to?
Yeah.
How tall is he supposed to get?
Giant. Well, I mean, like I'm 5'1", so like. Yeah, no, he looks like a linebacker.
He looks like he's going to be your dad's size at least.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit taller than my dad. I think from that, I think he's going to be like, my dad's like 5'11". I think they said anywhere between 6 foot and 6'2".
Yeah.
He's already wearing a size 9 in men's shoes and he's 10.
He looks
like a bruiser.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, when we were little, people would be like, oh, is he, we would just hang out. And it's like, oh, is he reading yet? Whatever. And I'm like, he's 3.
He's 3.
He's literally 3.
Yeah. My kid too. Cause he's super tall too. So they talk to him now like he's 10. I'm like, he's 6.
Yeah, he's little itty bitty.
Doesn't know what you're saying, buddy.
Yep.
Like,
yep. Yeah.
So
he plays baseball. He really likes it. And they put him in as a pitcher.
Oh, that's good.
Season, and he was like,
he's got the weight for that.
Jam. Oh my God. He would like, when you saw him up on the mound, I was like, he does not look like a 10-year-old. Like he looks like, this looks like the varsity high school kid that just like came. And they call him the Hambino.
Yes, that is a great nickname.
The Hambino.
That is an amazing baseball nickname.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's like a slugger. Like when he doesn't always, when he got out to bat, he wouldn't always hit, but when he would, it was like at least a double every time.
Let me know if you ever want to get him pitching lessons. I'm hooked up with a dude over here that used to pitch in the pros. Like he was a prospect for the pros.
Oh yeah, for
Tampa
sure.
Bay.
We got him lessons last year.
So yeah, if you ever want that, he's a really good dude, and it's literally right down the street from me.
Oh my God, yes.
So
yes, please.
Yeah. I'll hook you up afterwards.
I'll definitely ask you about that because he has his like his method, and both of my kids are so funny. They're like, "Mom, stop cheering, stop saying anything, just sit there."
I don't know why kids don't.
And all the other parents are like, "Rah!" They're like making all this noise in this racket, and I'm like.
I look like
I look like
I don't know why kids do that.
My God.
Does your daughter?
Oh my God. Let me tell you the time that my daughter struck out and I had screamed before her last swing. I was like, go Abby. She throws the bat. She looks me in the eye. Like she finds me in the stands and she goes, that's your fault. And I was like,
amazing.
No, girl, you just need to get better at swinging. But all right, fine. I will take your projected anger. And then in the car, that's all that. You can't talk to me while I sit, breaking my concentration. I was like, so now I sit.
That's so funny.
Far away. And I don't say shit. And I scream like hell for other people's children. And I just clap for me.
I was that way too. I used to tell my grandfather all the time certain like cues that he could yell to me, and that was it. Like, don't yell anything other than these 3 cues.
Here's your script.
Like this is all you can say. If you see me doing this incorrectly, you can yell out these cues, and that's it. And then don't say anything else. My grandmother could yell for me all day long. Because she would just yell like my name or good job,
just general support.
Or like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, my grandfather was yelling at me full textbook size
Yeah.
manuals. And I'm like, now you get these 3 cues.